it starts off, the first 4 chapters are the mothers remembering their children. The next 4 chapters are the 4 daughters remembering their childhood. Then the next 4 are the daughters as adults, recounting stuff from their adult lives. And then the last 4 are the mothers again, you know, at the end of the story. So it like starts.
Parents and mothers in general are more accepting than the Asians, because like the Asian mothers were, because of like the specific traditions that the Asian parents.
So, you're rebelling as your parent, it kind of means like you're fighting against it. You don't want to support them. Well, traditional Chinese philosophy that you should support them, and you shouldn't really fight against them. So that's the kind of.
They give their children more freedom because America's all about freedoms of choice and everything. Asian mothers, they have a very specific way. They want their child to be kind of like, to be raised the way they were, kind of. They think they know what's best, so they want to give that to their children.
These parents tend to have specific expectations for their children. Like they want them to become something, like specific thing. Like they want them to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. And like for Teenage Rebellion, it's mainly like we start making our own decisions and deciding things that we want and what we want to do. And then the Chinese like parents' eyes, like they're afraid that like we're gonna kind of stray off that path that they believe.
Accepts more than the other. Like I don't think that Western parents, just because they're more lenient, is that they accept it less. Because no Western parent wants their child to be out rebelling or doing anything, or necessarily. They're just more willing to be lenient and tolerant and let them have take their own time. And so we see that there's a difference in the way that the parents are taking care of it, but not necessarily whether they accept it. The reason why Chinese mothers may be less tolerant to teenage rebellion is because they have a focus on the duty of one's child to the family and all of that sort of.
Many medias that are showing very inappropriate or very off things, and it influences the teenagers to think it's okay, but then the parents are like, no.
Or whatever. It's sort of mainstream for kids to diss their parents or not respect their parents. And so we take all that in, and then when it happens, and in reality, the teenagers rebel. You're saying the parents are like, whoa, we didn't mean for that to happen. Is that what you're saying? One person would tell the story and you'd be feeling one way about it, like, God, that mother's mean. And then the next time you'd hear it from the mother and you'd be like, that daughter is a total brat. Like, didn't it change your opinion because the perspective changed depending on
Like, so, and develop her talent for it. But then I think like when her mother starts showing off that, oh, hey, this is my daughter, she won a chess championship.
Like about it. Yeah, how much confidence I have about each of these different things that I do, you know, and I think that falls into play with, you know, Waverly and the chess.
What are the biggest cultural differences?
The imbalance of like water and
Wood, water, yeah, your personality traits.
It has to do like feng shui.
And Rich is like doing everything wrong, and it seems like there's so many rules that you have to like know about, like unspoken rules about like, oh, you can't like say anything about the food. Or, to me, your rule is a lot more confusing than my rule. Where you want something, you just kind of reach over and grab it, rather than like, hey, can you pass the mashed potatoes? Like I can just reach over and grab it.
My worst dish I've never made so far. I thought a lot about our discussion about yin and yang, and how when Chinese people say one thing, they're not getting the full story, that they're also saying that the reason why the rules may seem confusing is because in our society we prefer more blunt answers and we want a direct response.
As a metaphor, I can say yang is something you can see. Yin is the nature. You don't see from the outside, but you have to feel it. Feel with your heart and with no. The coin comes with both sides. When we acknowledge good things, we also knowing there's the bad things. The happy life. But if you have never lived through the hardship or the difficult time, how could you appreciate your good time? So we had a question.
She made a new group.
Crowding crying because it was during a time of war, and then everyone was there. And then she wanted to be lucky and have joy even throughout all the sadness, so that's why she named it Through a Necro.
Things like, we will get in arguments about if she helps me wake up in the morning, I yell at her because I tell her that I'm independent and I don't need her anymore. And I feel bad afterward, and I get from the mother's perspective, I feel bad.
They just had such a bad life growing up. Like, they might have had fun, but overall, they were locked into marriages and stuff like they did not. Their daughters were in America, where there is a little bit more freedom, where arranged marriages really aren't the social norm, but like they were in China.
Waverly at the end with Rich is that's the only happy relationship, but she's already divorced. So how do you explain that? Or is there a connection between the mothers and what they've gone through, or is it just in America we just divorce a lot?
Divorced or in bad marriages, and how like the mothers went through their hardships in China, and how like eventually it got better for the mothers for the most part. Like it got a little bit better for each of them.
The theme of like women being degraded and like Westerners and men is that no matter, even though you're in China where traditions are high, or even you're in America where traditions are low, women are still degraded below men. And that's
but since they're in America, they don't have freedom to divorce, and so they did. But to be honest, it was more of the husband's insistence, like in Rose.
I warned her mom when she went to stay with her that it was going to fall down if she puts too much pressure on it. And so Ying purposely knocks it down so she can tell me
She's gonna find her
tiger spirit.
Yeah, she's gonna find her tiger spirit, and it's gonna give her something that she doesn't feel like she's had.
That's true. That is a very Chinese culture thing. They consider the tiger the king of the beasts. So to have tiger spirit is to be very good. Tiger pillows, tiger hats, and tiger shoes, which actually I was able to see when I was in China, and they're very little.
I just feel like the traits of the mothers and like the situations and the way the mothers act is somewhat inherited amongst the daughters, and it's kind of like the apple doesn't fall far from
Other things, and then you realize afterward how much you appreciate them, like reminding you about it, kind of like with like doing certain things first.